2025, what a year it was for gamers. I think it's safe to say that there was something for everyone last year. But we're not here to talk about that. I am here to talk about the platinum trophies that I got in 2025. Let's break it down. Sonic X Shadows Generation, that was the first platinum that I got last year. So we're just going to do like a quick breakdown, really. What I liked, what I didn't like, what I can remember. I've got to cast my mind back. Right? I think it's 30 plats that I got. Obviously, the closer we get to December of 2025, then the more I'll probably remember. But there'll be some gameplay as well if I've got the recordings because I was very bad at not actually recording anything on OBS. So I've got stuff on the PlayStation app and all that sort of stuff. There'll be some bits. But anyway, back to Sonic. So if I remember rightly, I enjoyed it. I remember I really enjoyed it because I just sweated it for like a week. There was a couple of annoying trophies, if I remember rightly. I think there's the two trophies, one for Sonic, one for Shadow, where you have to take no damage on the final boss. Yeah, it's Sonic, and I think you got to do the same thing with Shadow as well. Yeah, and the Shadow one I really struggled with. I think it took me a couple of hours because obviously the Shadow gameplay is a lot different to the Sonic gameplay, right? But they weren't that bad. I think what I hated the most was the fact the collection boxes in the Shadow world, like just going around finding all the nuts and bolts and stuff like that. I think there was like two that I'd missed, and for the life of me, I was going around for like 3 hours and couldn't find them. I had to load up a guide, and it went step by step. I had to follow it step by step to find the two collectibles that I'd missed. But overall, I thought the game was really good. I thought it ran really well. It was nice playing like. Are they reimagined Sonic levels? I haven't played a Sonic game for absolute year. I think the last one that I played before this was probably like maybe Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast. Wow, that's a throwback. But you know, like having the Green Hill Zone music and all that sort of stuff. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. The next platinum I got was Marvel Rivals. This made me miserable. Not because it was it's not a bad trophy list, right? You just have to win a certain amount of matches, play with a friend, reach level 20, kill streak, you know, the bog standard stuff. It was the character specific trophies. There were some characters that I was really good at, right? I think everyone's good at the Punisher. The Punisher's like the easiest character to play. But then there was ones like the Loki trophy where you've got to land a KO by stabbing someone in the back. The Captain America one with his ult, he had to hit 3 people. The Black Panther one made me so miserable. Made me so miserable because I was just bad at playing Black Panther. So getting those kill streaks wasn't fun. I think not the Adam Warlock one I found was pretty easy. What was the other one I really struggled with? I'm trying to remember. Jeff the Lad Shark, that was a great character. I love picking people up, throwing them off the map. Wolverine one, I struggled with as well. I had to say with Iron Fist. So basically any DPS that required some skill, I struggled with because I'm not very skilled at these games. But overall, I thought the game's a lot of fun, right? I didn't play competitive, I just played quick play. I can imagine the competitive side of it's probably pretty toxic, but that is what it is. Next was Black Myth Wukong. This game was great. I had a lot of fun with this. I thought, you know, for a Souls-like, I love Souls games, as you'll find out later. You know, just play through the game, doing the collectibles, doing the just playing the game and enjoying it. I thought it was great. I struggled with 2 bosses. No, 3 bosses that gave me a really hard time. Erlang, Fourth Dragon, I can't remember his name, and Sun Wukong. They gave me a hard time. And obviously the trophy list, it's all called in riddles. And I think I did this in 2.5 playthroughs because I missed a load of stuff. Because again, riddles, right? I think I missed a couple of the collectibles because there was certain enemies that only drop items and I didn't realize and all that sort of stuff. The XP grind to max out the skills. I think at the end, when I got to the point where I was close to the plat, I think I just farmed those spiders in Act 4 or wherever in that cave. And then I finished that off and then I got what was the last trophy I got before I got the platinum? It was A walking vault of arms. Yeah, so it must have been missing a weapon or something that I missed as well. So, but overall, I thought the game was really good. Um, I don't really have a lot of negatives about this because if I if I remember rightly, because I was streaming this, people were coming in and saying you're lucky that you're playing it now because apparently when the game came out, it didn't have a mini map. I can't imagine playing this without a mini map. I think that would have made me miserable. But yeah, so Black Myth Wukong, Crash Bandicoot 1. I did do DLC, but pure nostalgia. Pure nostalgia. I think Crash Bandicoot 1 is probably my favourite Crash. Um, I didn't like the bridge levels. I didn't like the bridge levels on time trial, but it's not a hard plat. You just need to put some time in. It's the gold relics is probably that's probably the hardest part. Is getting the gold relic. That's just like gold relic in every level because there's some levels that I just sucked at. So doing the gold relics, it wasn't great, but it's not an overly difficult trophy list. I think Crash 2, the platinum's exactly the same as Crash 1. There's a few extra bits, like you unlock secret exits and levels, and that opens new levels, and then you can do that. Just forget it repeatedly. I think that's what I was trying to leave at the start of the game. But again, it's pretty much the same as Crash 1. Uh, I really like the polar bear levels in Crash 2. I didn't like the polar bear levels with Time Trials though, but there's what it is. So I had an itchy nose. I think there was a level in I think it's Crash 2. It might be Crash 3. No, it's not. It's Crash 2 because that's the one that had the no death levels. You had to get to them without dying, and then you had to go through that to get the gems and the extra boxes. It was one of the snow levels. Is it Snow Joke? I think it's called. That took me hours. That took so you had the nitros boxes, and it's on the slippery ice. You've got to jump duck and all that. That wound me up. I really struggled with that. I did start a Crash 4, and then I put Crash 4 down, and I don't think I'm going to be picking that back up anytime soon. Crash 3, again, is pretty much exactly the same as the other two. You get like the rocket launcher stuff. You got to shoot like imposters. So there are different trophies, like level specific trophies, should I say? Like again, like secret levels, earn all the gems, get all the gold relics. So again, pretty straightforward, but there are some levels that absolutely were not great. Were not great. I started with Gollum, put Gollum down. Final Fantasy 9, absolutely adore Final Fantasy series. I absolutely adore Final Fantasy 9. I do not adore the Final Fantasy 9 trophy list. There is 2 trophies. So this one, Bloodlust, where you got to defeat 10,000 enemies. And I got this one really early on. Where is it? If you know, you know, right? Jump King. You got to jump rope 1,000 times without tripping and obtain King of Jump Rope. I ended up having to use auto hotkey script and remote play. Doing all the extra content in the game is really good fun. I really enjoyed the... Where is it? The pop quiz. I thought that was quite cool. Obviously, I missed this when I played it as a kid. But, you get a ragtime mouse come up. She asks you a question about stuff in the game. And you answer true or false. But I thought that was quite cool. That was something that I missed. So I did have to do it again. But then I did the speedrun trophy on the same day. And then I got platinum. Yeah, I'd recommend that. Expedition 33. What hasn't been said about Expedition 33 that I can say? Right. I thought the game was really good. I feel like the third act lets it down. I feel like it's too rushed. Because you come out of Act 2 and you go straight into Act 3 and it's like the end game, right? I feel like that was just a bit too rushed and I thought the ending was a little bit obvious. But, the story, the music, the characters, it was great, right? You can see why it won Game of the Year. You can't even be mad that it won Game of the Year. The trophy list is pretty straightforward. Just collect all the journals, find all the music records. None of them are missable, if I remember rightly. I think
Finally.
there is one that you can get at the start of the game, but you can get it again at the end of the game. You just have to be careful, obviously get the end. Simon was probably the hardest. Yeah, because I was practicing him for ages, and then I was practicing him, dying loads, and I was just leveling up with the what they're on top of that roof in the area where Simon is, and I was just like practicing there, leveled up, and then I beat him. But yeah, I recommend the platinum for Expedition 33. It's really good game. Assassin's Creed Shadows, probably the most forgettable platinum that I've got this year. I can't remember a thing about the story. Um, I've blocked it out, and the trophy list, if I remember rightly, I absolutely hated it. Um, yeah, yes, a rare occurrence. There's four, I think it's 4 or 5 legendary. It might be more. I can't remember, but there's legendary Sumi that only spawn in certain seasons, but you can't skip seasons. And I thought that was really stupid that you're in post game and you still can't skip time. I thought that was ridiculous. There was another one that I hated as well. It was like to fully upgrade the hideout, I think it was. And I was just like, what is this? Like some of the exploration stuff was quite cool though, because the game did look good. You can't deny it looked good. But yeah, I didn't care for Naue. I thought Yasuke was a cool character. But yeah, overall, I wasn't overly impressed with Assassin's Creed Shadows. I haven't played any of the DLCs. I don't know what they're like now, but that Monster Hunter Wilds was miserable. Um, it wasn't miserable because it's bad. It was miserable because I didn't know about the crowns until it was like one of the last trophies that I had left. And I was like, how the hell do I get a crown? And then like my community were like, oh, you need to use the binoculars to check a monster and it'll have a gold small or a gold large crown. So farming the crowns is probably the bit that took me the longest. And I kept putting the game down and picking it back up, putting it down, picking it back up. And then eventually I found the Monster Hunter Discord. So props to the Monster Hunter Discord that helped me get all the crowns. I thought the game was really cool. I think this is my second Monster Hunter game. I haven't played one to full completion like this. I think I played like Rise on the Switch for like, played post game, saw the credits, and I was like, cool, that's it. Yeah, I played with Dual Blades. I absolutely loved it. Really enjoyed the combos. I thought the fishing was really cool. The multiplayer, how the multiplayer worked, I thought was quite cool as well. Crafting the armor. I didn't realise that catching monsters as well, you get better rewards at the end. It was a good time of learning of Monster Hunter Wilds. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. I need to do the DLC. I loved it. It was everything that I wanted a remaster slash remake of Oblivion to be. It is the most simple trophy list ever. You just complete the game and reach max rank, or like do the last quest for each of the factions, and then you're done. I don't actually think there is anything specific that's like missable because they're all like quest lines. Yeah, so it's all like join a guild, do the quest line, reach max rank, and then obviously there's main quests, trophies tied to that as well. Yeah, I had a great time. I had a great time with Oblivion. It was quick. I think it took me like 40 hours. I really enjoyed it. Night Rain, I thought this game was really good. I'm not a big fan of roguelikes, and I'm not a big fan of battle royales. But then when Night Rain came out, I was like, I've got to play it. Right? I've got to play it. You've got the roguelike aspect, and obviously you've got the battle royale aspect. The fact you've got the night that comes in. I took a fair bit of time off work to play this. I got the platinum in the week. I think it was a week. And yeah, I loved every second of it. I was bugged out of these 3 trophies because I didn't do them during my playthrough, and they were then not spawning. When I've completed the game, they weren't spawning these 3 events. So I managed to find people that had them and managed to get those done. But again, it's not an overly complex trophy list. It's complete the game, get all the vessels, you know, you unlock outfits. I think that's full purple gear. Defeated Night Lord of each character. That was probably the one I struggled with the most. But I just did it with the dog boss, whose name I can't remember. But yeah, I really enjoyed Night Rain. I thought it was really good. I need to go back and play the update. I think it's got like Artorias and stuff in it, right? And it's one of my favorite Dark Souls bosses. Final Fantasy 7. Not really much to say about this. I think the worst part was learning all the limit breaks on every character because obviously Aerith, you have to do that by the end of this one. So there was a fair bit of grinding at the start of the game. The Ruby weapons, the weapons were difficult. Master Summon material. Yeah, so you had to get the last limit break with every character. And there was one for Aerith as well. So I remember I had to farm ages before the end of this one to make sure that I got that for obvious reasons. Going on a date with Barrett as well, you had to do certain you had to interact with Barrett in certain ways. I'm amazed you didn't have that in Rebirth, to be fair. I'm surprised that really wasn't in Rebirth, but it is what it is. Obviously, you had to die. The Golden Saucer stuff was pretty straightforward. Getting Don to choose Cloud over two females. Again, I'm surprised that wasn't in Remake. He just chose you, right? If I remember rightly. And they actually had to go out and work for it. I thought that was pretty cool. I was playing this and I was like, I remember FF7 very differently because when it came out, I was what, like 10? Maybe younger? When it came out, was it 97? 97? I would have been 8. So I probably didn't play it very well when I was 8 years old. The Spyro trophies. Spyro 2. Really easy trophy list. Right, probably the hardest trophies that on these games was to defeat the bosses, like getting hit. I think it was one for every single boss, and then every level had a specific trophy, and it's just like collect all the gems and 100% completion. And yeah, not really much to talk about Spyro. Spyro 2, good as I remember. The Platinums, it's pretty good. It's good fun. Minecraft, I don't really have much to say about Minecraft. My daughter popped a few trophies, played it on survival, and then I went on a trophy world and I did it in like 3 days. I hate Minecraft. I don't play it. I play it with my daughter for like an hour, maybe once or twice a week when she asks. But I avoid Minecraft like the plague. And I was like, oh, I might as well get the plat. So I just found a trophy server and did it that way. Like, I have no shame. Sekiro, as hard and as memorable as I remember when I did it on the Xbox when the game came out. 3 playthroughs. Second playthrough, I used a cloud save to get the Shura ending, and then went back and did the rest of the bosses and did that. 3 playthroughs, I did it for all skills and obviously all prosthetic upgrades because you need those flowers and you only get a certain of them per playthrough. Yep, I absolutely adore Sekiro. It's definitely up there for me from FromSoft games. I don't find it that difficult. I can understand why people do. I really like the combat. I like the fast paced combat. I really like the fast paced combat in Bloodborne as well. Um, the hardest bosses for me in this was probably Guardian Ape and his wife because I hate gank fights. Sword Saint Ishin and Demon of Hatred. So I've always said, and I will always say that a Demon of Hatred is a Dark Souls boss in Sekiro. A bit like how Melania is a Sekiro boss in Elden Ring. That's how I feel about them. I love the boss fights. I think they're great. I think they would have been better in the other games though. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. I absolutely love them though. Astrobot, I didn't platinum that last year. There was more there's more levels that came out, so I'm not going to talk about Astrobot. Dark Souls 3, miserable. Not because the game sucks, but farming out the 30 items for all 6 covenants was not fun. I think by the time I'd done it all, and I'd finished the first playthrough. I had put in 72 hours and I was soul level 150 because RNG hated me, and that was with the luck build as well. Um, all rings, so that's, I think it's 3 playthroughs again. You need 3 playthroughs to get all the rings. There's a couple of gestures that I missed. I had to replay it. Nameless King always gave me a hard time. I actually didn't struggle this time thanks to him being in Night Rain, so I remembered how to fight him properly. For some reason, I really struggled on Lothric Princes. I don't know why. I know I didn't when I played it on the Xbox, but this time I did. Yes, I love Dark Souls 3. I love Dark Souls 3. There's a few bosses that I don't enjoy, but overall, I think Dark Souls 3 is great. Just the RNG farming items is horrid. Bluey, I did that in the morning with my daughter. It's really easy. I think she's just not even 6 at that point.
We found you.
You just complete levels
Princess
and
Muffin, we're
collect
here to
stuff.
rescue you.
It's
Good.
actually quite
It's
fun. I prefer this
tiring.
over the Peppa Pig game. Bluey, Peppa Pig, 100%. Mortuary Assistant, hated this. I didn't hate the Platinum. The Platinum's pretty straightforward. I'm not very good at horror games, and I had to do this as a punishment. And I also had to do it on the hardest difficulty. Oh, not the hardest difficulty, but I had to turn the horror setting all the way up. So I was getting jump scared left, right, and centre. It's not a difficult trophy list. It is a bit of a grind, but because of embalming mode, it makes this trophy a lot easier. These 2 trophies a lot easier because you've got to embalm 100 bodies and burn 50 bodies. But if you're doing it on the just bog standard game, you burn a body, it ends the level, and it goes to the next night. So embalming mode is just like a continuous cycle, and you could just quit whenever. The endings, getting all 6 endings was very hard to work out, and then I realised that as I was unlocking more endings, it was opening up more stuff in the game. So yeah, once I worked that out, again, it was a couple of nights doing that, and then it was done. Got the platinum. I recommend it. If you like horror games, you'll probably enjoy this. If you like platinum trophies, you will enjoy this. But if you don't like horror, you can turn it right down, and it's not scary. Star Wars: The Clone Wars, pure nostalgia, as good as I remember. Complete levels, do bonus objectives, and that's basically it. Defeat 100 enemies with Anakin. I think I had to go into a multiplayer level, and it just loaded me in. Mace Windu, you got to do 100 enemies as well, but you get to play with him as him a couple of times. You didn't get to play as Anakin as much. You have to watch some cutscenes. The game's really good. It's aged poorly, obviously, but I really enjoyed it. Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers. I did not like this game. I really enjoyed the music, and I thought the characters were cool. But my God, is the gameplay confusing. There's not really much more I need to say. I had to follow a guide. I had to follow a guide word for word to work out how to get some of these trophies. Like recruiting all party members. There was some that you'd lock out of one playthrough, so you'd need to do a second playthrough, but you need to finish the game and load that save as a new game. And yeah, it got very weird. It was cool. Don't get it wrong, it was cool, but it was like my brain was just like, I can't handle this level of confusion right now. You had different endings, good ending, bad ending. Complete like some tech, create a piece of rainbow armor, all that sort of stuff. But I probably wouldn't play it again, if that makes sense. Ghost of Tsushima, pretty straightforward plat. I never played this when it came out. I think it came out around COVID. I tell a lie, I did play it. I had 9 trophies, and I stopped playing it. So if you know what came out between the July and September of Ghost of Tsushima and Marvel Avengers, for some reason I stopped playing, and the next trophy I unlocked was in Marvel's Avengers. Yeah, let me know because I just can't work it out. I can't work out why I stopped playing Ghost of Tsushima. This game was great. Right, the combat's cool, the story's cool. I like the ending. The trophy list it's not awful. Some of it can be a bit of a grind, like doing all the map stuff, like find all the foxes and the shrines. The worst one was finding the hidden altars. I think I just didn't explore enough. I think I only found like two. So, overall, I really liked it. I really liked Ghost of Tsushima. I thought it was good. Not a massive fan of the trophy list, but once you start, once you got used to it, like, because the way I did it was every time that I'd unlock a new area, I'd go around the map and do as many of the collectibles as I could before I could see progress the story. And obviously, eventually, a lot more. And then eventually, when I finished the game, I unlocked the rest. And I was like, that's why I did it, because I didn't have to sit and do it all in one go. I wish I did more, because I did have to go and sit and do a load in one go. And that was pretty meh. But nothing that a good couple of episodes of The Office and a bit of Twitch can't solve, right? Mafia: The Old Country. I thought this game was really good. I really like the story. I really like the combat as well. Obviously, you have to complete the game on the hardest difficulty. So getting used to the combat took me a while. The bit that I didn't like was completing the collection. All foxes. The collection was the photographs and the newspapers.
He's dead. There's only one left.
Doing all of those. Because outside of a couple, you have to do them in free play. I wish that you could do free play between missions rather than the game just takes you through the story and then free play is an optional thing where you literally just drive around because there's nothing really going on. So you got to drive around and find the foxes, the newspapers, the photos. And yeah, I thought that was just done poorly. But overall, it's pretty good. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This was my game of the year. I absolutely loved this game. I love the characters. I love the music. I love medieval times. I love that part of history. Like the trophy list for this was great. Having to play through the game without eating meat or killing animals was hard because there was quests where you had to do certain things which could involve eating meat or killing animals. So you had to make sure you had the dialogue options to get out of it or do things in a different way. Yeah, I absolutely adored Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I had so much fun with this trophy list. There's a lot of missables. There's a hell of a lot of missables. You had to answer dialogue in a certain way to get through, to do this trophy, to make it through the church without raising suspicion. You had to shoot a gun-wielding enemy with a gun. I'd say 80% of this trophy list is missable. Because it all depends on dialogue choices and quests, all that sort of stuff. And then you complete most of the game's content. I think you get that at about 80 to 90% of the game complete, where you do side quests and all that sort of stuff. So this was the one that I was focusing on the most. Once I popped that, I kind of slowed down on the side quests and started focusing more on the main quests because I was like, well, I don't need to worry about as many side quests now. And then as these ones popped up, play through it like that. Doing the archery competition. Zavish in 3 disciplines was horrid because I hadn't leveled up pole arms. So that took a few nights. Fighting Dry Devil's comrades, going around doing that. Reforging the sword. I scuffed that up a couple of times. I got the trophy, but the sword was a horrible rank, so I had to restart and do all that sort of stuff as well. I had so much fun. I had so much fun playing KCD2. Final Fantasy 1. Not really much to say. There's a couple of the Pixel remastered Final Fantasies on here, and they're all kind of the same trophies, right? You finish the game, you complete the bestiary, you collect every treasure chest, you find the weapon, and you reach max level. And that's kind of all the same. And then obviously you've got the story-based quests. Oh, you kill a certain amount of monsters and you loot Gil. Yeah, the they're good games. They are really good games. The problem that I had was the bestiary, where some of the monsters had like 1 to 5% spawn chances. So I was in an area, try to farm them for the bestiary, and then I'm overpowered for the story because I'm spending so long farming that I'm just like OP. So I made it too easy, but I didn't want to do 2 playthroughs. So it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Ghost of Yotei, I thought Ghost of Yotei was all right. You know, I enjoyed it. Didn't enjoy Act 3, same as Expedition 33. Too predictable. The pacing was weird. But overall, the trophy list I thought was easier than Tsushima's. I think there was a couple of bits that I struggled on. Like I couldn't find the last song, and then again, Bao will play. That's like the hidden altars in Tsushima. I really enjoyed it. I thought Ghost of Yotei was really good. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought the combat was clean as well. I didn't have any issues with like the game crashing and stuff either, which I tried to cast on my backfield stuff that I didn't actually like. But I think the main thing I didn't like was just the last part of the story. I really like the combat. I didn't really care too much about the revenge story, maybe because I played a revenge story samurai game earlier on in the year. Although I thought this one was cooler, I feel like I'm just a little bit burnt out. I think I'm burnt out on samurai games at the moment, which is maybe why I didn't enjoy Ghost of Yotei as much as I should have. But that's just a personal thing. Spyro 3, straightforward platinum. You do levels as Sparks in this one. You do levels as like different characters. You rescue them and you unlock levels with them. Well, that's pretty cool. But it's pretty much the same. 100% completion. I don't think you need. I think you didn't need to get all the. There was something that I was doing. I was like, oh, I don't need this, and then I went and you don't need 100% every level. I think if I remember rightly, you don't need 400% on every level like the other two. No, you don't need 100%. So yeah, Spyro 3 game's good. I can't remember what I didn't like about it. Honestly, it's just a bog standard like platformer, really. Is it? Do you even call it a platformer? I don't even know what you class Spyro as because it's not like Crash Bandicoot platforming. It's just a chill, fun time, right? Hey, good this you're here. This was recommended to me on stream. I did this in one night. I thought this game was brilliant. I thought this game was absolutely brilliant. I've not laughed in the way that this game made me laugh in years. It was corny. It was cheesy. It was proper northern. Obviously, I live in the UK, so and there was a lot of stuff that just reminded me of like old school Coronation Street with the way people were talking, and there was a lot of like weird innuendos and just weird stuff, and I thought this was hilarious. There's a couple of missables that I missed. I need to do it in 3 playthroughs, but I just speed ran it. But no, if you haven't played this game, I really do recommend it. It's like a 10-hour plat, maybe 5 actually. All right, 4. I did it in 4 hours. It's not a 10-hour. I'm getting confused. It's about a 4 to 5 hour plat. It's good. I love that game. Diablo 4. Did I do that in 2025? I did. We're near the end. We're near the end of 2025 now. Diablo 4. The platinum is a lot easier than it probably would have been when Diablo first came out. I played as a paladin and I just absolutely obliterated it. The hardest thing for me was Echo of Lilith. I waited until I was Torment 4 max level. No, I wasn't max level Paragon level, I don't think. Or was I? Yeah, I was. Well, not max, but I was level 200. And then eventually my Paladin build was like 2 shot. And I'm done. Hardcore took me like 4 hours. it's not overly difficult. This trophy was probably the hardest because there's not a lot of people that play PvP in Diablo, but I had a friend that came and helped me. But yeah, you have to do certain things with every class and, you know, reach level 50, kill a certain amount of enemies. It's relatively straightforward. I feel like this would have been a lot harder when the game first came out because they've changed a little bit. Like, this is season 12 now, season 11, I think, maybe season 12 on Diablo 4. So this is definitely a lot easier than it would have been. Because I remember playing it on the PC when it came out, and I was like, this is miserable. Like, doing the achievements, I was like, yeah. Final Fantasy 2. Pretty much exactly the same as FF1. The only difference was that you had to max out a magic spell and a weapon skill to level 16, and I think this took me a while. Well, according to that, it took me 45 minutes. But I was in the same area, just attacking myself over and over and over again. And then I think I finished the game, and then I reloaded the save and carried it on because I was like, I just can't do this. Well, I could, but it was just like repetitive, right? But again, bestiary chests, every map location, weapon, you load all passwords. I wasn't a big fan of FF2. I thought the Emperor was cool, and I thought the last part of the game was really cool. But the stuff up to that, I just thought was a bit meh compared to FF1 at least. Hollow Knight, I'm going to be brutally honest. I used a glitch. I got to the Pantheons. It just made me miserable. I was miserable anyway. I'm not a big fan of Metroidvanias. I picked it up because it was free. I regret playing it. To be honest, I did not enjoy it at all. I can see why people like it. I understand that, and it's just like fair play. This game's not for me. So I haven't played Silksong. This game is not for me. So I got to the Pantheon and I was like, I am miserable. I've got 2 trophies left to get to platinum. I'm just going to use the glitch, get it done, and forget about it. Do I regret it? Yes, but I have no shame. I have no shame. I wanted to just get this over and done with, and yeah, I have huge respect for people that have done this legit. But yeah, that is all the platinum trophies that I got for 2025. Like I said, there's some good games on there, some bad games on there. There's a lot of stuff that I've forgotten about because I'm a bot. But yeah, if you've enjoyed that video, please do hit that like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel. I'm going to start streaming on YouTube as well as on Twitch. So obviously, if you want to watch me on Twitch, it's obviously the Platinum Menace. And obviously on the YouTube, it's on this channel. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. Obviously, I'm sorry that the gameplay is just trophies pop in rather than just gameplay that I've recorded. But yeah, go forward. I've now fixed that part of my OBS. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video.